Why is it you're so passionate about other people knowing about what happened to you, to some degree for them?
One leg down on terra firma ground. He can still hear the angels' amplified sound. There's no escape route to find. He's simply become the fall guy.
Thought it was time that we kind of keep a diary of what's going on.
Mm,
Because between us, it's almost another full-time job. So much happening, which we will share.
yeah,
And then we've already got dates for almost to the end of November.
yeah, yeah.
The minute, that's without anything else that comes along, and so we're
Totally.
certainly being kept busy with it, which is great.
Well, I think that's through the action. So you gave by way of an illustration a snowball effect.
Yeah,
That is dependent on momentum.
yes,
And a large part of what we do is momentum. We're out there, we're out and about, we're connecting with people, we're sharing what we're sharing online as well as out and about. And I think you've summed it up brilliantly, which is we decided that we wanted to get together in this way because we get
yeah,
together regularly, but to video content what's happening for the week ahead, the weeks ahead, and it will connect with others, which is why I chose as the title Diary with the
yeah,
original Fall Guy,
yeah,
not Diary of. Because this is not something that we're remotely experiencing ourselves. We are, first and foremost. So diary with, I'm spending time with you, and we're gonna be talking about that in a moment. But also, we're spending time with a lot of other people too. And,
yes,
and we can
yeah,
share a catch up on how that's taken place and how that's going to take place more, because it is a shared venture. This is more than you and I. But I'd like you, if you can, John, because there might be people watching who don't know who we are and who you are and what happened.
yeah.
So I think if we begin with, and it's always difficult to ask you to sum up, but I suppose it is, as you often say, the proximate cause
Yeah,
of events that then spiraled, unraveled to where you are now. So give us a bit of a quick tour, if you can, of
okay.
of the Fall Guy and what happened to you.
But as I say, the proximate cause is an event that sets in motion a chain of events.
Mm.
And then that's exactly what happened. So I worked for an estate agent close to Blackpool. I was asked by an American couple to help purchase a piece of land in Bulgaria before Bulgaria joined the EU, obviously for obvious reasons. Um, I went out there with the American husband. We saw the land. We flew back. He said he wanted to buy it. He gave me proof of the money, that he had the money to buy it, which in these big property deals is always important. You don't want to spend your time with the dreamers. So he gave me proof of the money. I flew back with that. And then I got shot by the mafia, thrown over a bridge, operated on in a torture chamber, I guess. and kidnapped,
Hmm.
and then finally smuggled out of there, I believe, by a government minister.
Hmm.
Um, I spent 4.5 years learning to walk, about 12 months learning to talk.
Hmm.
Um, and now, when I arrived back, I kept having x rays. 9 months later, I was really ill. What they had not noticed in England was when I'd been operated on, they'd left their bullet in there. So I was quickly arranged for new surgery. And when they opened me up, everything was corroded.
Because it reacted, didn't it, John? It reacted with the pins that were
Yeah,
butchered. Butchered is, but it has to be a way of describing the surgery that you received
yeah,
in Bulgaria.
yeah.
And of course, there was a reaction between the metal of the bullet and the pins that were in you. And I think would it be safe to say, John, that I mean, from my point of view, and I'm sure people watching without knowing what you've just said, you present incredibly well. We mentioned you were working in, and it was storm. It was storm, nothing short of storms. The winds were incredibly strong last night. So you're working, you're functioning, and you're presenting as somebody who you wouldn't know. If you didn't know, nobody would listen to you, look at you, and think anything. But
No,
then to find that out, what I'm sharing is you're still living with the effects.
oh, of course,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
my speech is not great.
Hmm.
I'm never happy with that,
Yeah,
although it's there.
yeah,
Um, I have 36 pens plates in my right leg.
yeah,
My right leg is an inch and a half shorter than my left.
yeah,
So backache, um, and the rest of it, headache, neck ache, that goes with that every day.
yeah,
I'm allergic to all kinds of food that I'm trying to find out what I'm allergic to is like a full-time job in itself.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I keep being ill from that,
yeah,
from taking the wrong food choice. Um,
yeah, yeah,
and as we approach winter, we're getting colder and colder. Well, people out there, have you touched your car on the outside when it's been frosty?
Oh, can
If
you know
you
what?
if you if you've done that, then you can imagine what's happening to me because
John,
I've got
yeah, yeah.
36 pins
Wow. I've got to
virtually
pause you there.
on the outside of my leg.
I've got to
So
pause you there
yeah,
for a moment, John, because I have to. Your sharing of the pain you experience has touched me, and the reason it is I worked outside for years in all kinds of weathers, and I could never wear gloves. So I worked in groundwork with good old-fashioned spades and grafters and forks, hand rammers, pickaxes, metal, metal, and I struggled to wear gloves. So I had to kind of try and warm my hands up. But believe you me, what you're sharing, when you touch metal and it's cold, it basically freezes to your hands. So for you to describe that, that's why I had to pause you. Not because not because I didn't want to know, but because it's a painful thought. And I think that brings us on to. I want you to think about this for a moment. There's no rush because I understand why you would want to share this for your point of view. Because
yeah,
one of the biggest parts of the experience was the attempt to silence what happened. And
yeah,
I want to also share as well, because of course this is well documented your life. The book. I know on screen it could possibly, is that the correct way round as you're looking at it?
Yes,
Yeah, good. Phew.
yeah,
It's just perhaps the way I'm looking at it. Fall Guy, your life account. So that's available in the book, 100 pages, and there's so much more in here than you're sharing. Okay.
yes,
Even when we've done previous podcasts, there's so much more than you're sharing. We've got currently songs in the digital realm that you've written the lyrics for. Okay.
yeah,
That are available. So within those, there's a chronicle, there's a capturing of your experience. There is
yes,
the CD. So a limited edition CD with 5 songs on it. So what I'm sharing is there's a lot more to find out about you and your experience.
yeah,
Okay. But what I want you to answer, if you can, which is the bit you're going to need to think about, there's the benefit for you to share this for you, because that's one of
yeah,
the reasons you're sharing it, which is fine. I'd like you to think about, why is it you're so passionate about other people knowing about what happened to you, to some degree for them? What's the
yeah,
benefit? What's the benefit to them? Which I think is a good question to answer, because
yeah,
that's why we're going to diary over the next weeks, months, years what we're doing. What's in
yeah.
it for the people that are reading, listening, watching?
I think um, the fact that my story was silenced. I mean, there was news companies, newspaper companies. They all withdrew my account of what happened. Um, so I made the effort of diarying everything. And when I'd done that, I was able to complete the book, which you've shown. Um, I think if anybody's out there going through an immense struggle, an immense pain, um, finding life hard because something's happened that shouldn't have, um, believe in yourself. The doctors, the surgeons, the people of the world that we respect are not always right.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
body has got the ability to fix itself. It's not like a car engine where you've got to get a mechanic in to put a few nuts and bolts in and a bit of oil. Your body has memory. All your bones, all your cells of your body have got memory. So they remember how you used to be. So
wow,
if you've got something wrong with you, try and remember that you've got memory and your body will heal itself.
wow, wow. I watch quite a lot of different video content at times, little snippet bits of various YouTube videos. That's one of the best descriptions I've ever heard of the human body. It's true. I tie it up in the one word, which I think you've heard me say when we've had discussions in interviews ourselves, which is remember. Remember. So our
Yes,
body's made up of members, hands, legs, and fingers. You know, we are made up of members. So remember, that's basically what you're saying. So
yes,
within us, we've got that memory of returning to. So that's a powerful message. And when you said about people that are struggling, experiencing pain, to some degree, to a greater or lesser extent, that's absolutely everybody.
yes,
That's
yeah,
everybody, because the
yeah,
human experience contains those things that I just watched. This is what I do. I can't remember. I wish I could, but the name of the gentleman who was on ITV morning program. He was a very, very famous hairdresser for celebrities, etc. Formed
yeah,
a lot of styles and basically been diagnosed with bowel cancer. And it was
right,
him and his wife being interviewed. And it's one of the most inspirational things I've seen. So I think what I'm sharing with you is that's an acknowledgement of what you're doing.
Yeah,
That's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about it, because I feel when people read, listen, ultimately watch, as things develop, it's it reminds us of the resilience, the strength of the human spirit, and what you've just said. You know what we've got within us, and that's why we want to share this diary with the original Fall Guy, you. So let's have a little bit of a, if you can. We've shared the book was released over a year ago.
yeah,
It's been read. It's available. It's now, there's a link on my website, raycoatesvoice.com. There's a link on your website, johncheethampoetry.co.uk. I'll make sure they're going across. Yeah. So
yeah,
the book can be ordered. It's available in Amazon currently. Okay.
yes,
Music, 4 tracks out in the digital realm, one extra, which we can talk about in a moment. CD available. We're working on a vinyl version of the soundtrack album and a book to film project. So if you can now, share a bit more of the kind of recent things that have happened, like, for example, our travels to record a podcast, recent musical performances, the evening, things that have happened that have grown from originally the book that we've done in recent times.
yeah. So in recent times, we've been recording songs that are relevant to the book. Um, the book is all my words. The songs are my words. I'm not great at music, but I can write the words.
Totally.
So um, it's each song is a detailed account of my journey through that pain,
Yeah.
through what happened. I think that's the best way of describing that.
Yeah.
Um, so we've got from the point of being shot to the point of being where I am now, and
And the
everything
victory.
in between.
The victory over those
Yes,
that tried to do what they did, and
yes,
your not only your survival, but also whilst you are living still with effects, your triumph, your
yes.
triumph over that adversity, which is a good reminder for everybody else. We've travelled to Enfield a few times. Tell us a bit about that.
Okay, so a chap who's based in Enfield a number of months ago was in Blackpool, and I was chatting to him in a small office near where I live, and I gave him a copy of my book. I didn't know he was an actor, producer, and in recent months, he started a podcast. So when he started the podcast, he rang me and said he wanted me to be a guest on his podcast. So, as myself and you have been involved in the music side and the project of turning my book into a film, we both attended the first podcast in Enfield. We were met with um, producers, um, production companies, actors, treated us very, very well.
Hmm.
We did a podcast that lasted about 5 hours.
I think the recording did. It was like a marathon, the initial one, but I think because there was so much to share,
Yeah,
that's out there, which is good. Part two is already out. So what I'll do, just to kind of move things along to where the diary is now,
yeah,
because we want to share what's coming in a moment. I'll put links in the description. So there'll be
yeah,
links to the podcast in the description to watch those, to witness. But Paul Candelant, MK Cypher Films, Benny at the time, Ellis, most recently, have been incredibly supportive in what they've done for us. And that's now out there currently. That's led us to meet people who possibly may be involved in the future. What you mentioned about actors and actors that have raised their profile, have got their own projects on the go at the moment in terms of producers. So lots of things are happening, and there's other things happening behind the scenes too. So that's out there. I'm just thinking of something else. What about more recently with Dexter? Dexter, tell us a little
Okay,
bit about where
so
we've been with that.
yeah, one of the tracks from the forthcoming album is the title track Fall Guy. And yourself and a young lad from the Blackpool area, his name is Dexter Briggs. You've been working with Dexter, and between you, you thought of the idea of doing an instrumental version of Fall Guy. So there is initial singing at the beginning, which you did, and then Dexter wrote the music, guitar music, for the majority of the song in the middle. And most recently, you've been performing that
Yeah.
with Dexter. We had the Waterloo pub in Blackpool, which has open mic nights. You performed that there with Dexter. Yesterday, we were at HMV in Blackpool, and Dexter had his own performance there, which, if you've ever seen a guitar virtuoso,
A great summary. Yeah.
and then with Dexter, you've seen one, he's only 15. The guitar becomes part of him. It, it takes him over. It becomes encompassed with that guitar when he's on the stage.
I think that's a perfect summary, John, and I think you've really, really brought us up to brilliantly yesterday.
Yeah.
Because that's where we are. Now, of course, for anybody watching, listening, there's a heck of a lot more detail. There's a heck of a lot more, there's all of the the rehearsal of things, the writing, the time Dexter put into writing, being being in the recording studio, all of those type of things, the travels, 4.5, 5 hour journeys to Enfield, in the midst of the work you do, the work I do. So all I'm sharing there is, I think we're both doing, if it doesn't sound like I'm crediting me too much, I think we're both doing a really, really good job of summing up your life to this point, and what we've created in the last year for Fall Guy. So that now leads us nicely on to which all of the future episodes are going to be. What's coming next? So I want to share this message because I'm going to be sharing this through the YouTube channel, which is, first of all, in no particular order, but first of all, subscribe, because there's going to be loads more coming of Diary with the original Fall Guy, John Cheetham. So that's going to be shared regularly. And comment, like, you might have some thoughts as the audience is watching this. You might have some thoughts and feelings of, why don't you connect with this person or that person? Through the websites, I know you can contact John, johncheethampoetry.co.uk. Me, I know the email address is there. I've got a contact page. You can contact me, raycoatesvoice.com. So we can be contactable. So we've got about 10 minutes left, John.
Okay.
What's happening this week?
So on Wednesday, we had an appointment with a radio station in Salford, unfortunately, because of family commitment from the DJ from the station, that's been postponed for a short while.
Yeah.
However, we're making the most of that journey. So we're going to the radio station just to say hello. It's us. Sorry you couldn't make the program and the recording, but here we are. We've got various trips round Manchester on the same day. So we're going to Media City. We're going to other landmarks that musically are quite famous.
Well, we've got, haven't we? Sorry to come in again. We've got potential contact with a BBC radio contact.
Yes.
So we might or may not connect with that. So that's a good reminder for me. HMV from yesterday. They gave
Yes.
us a form that we can use that puts us in contact with other HMV stores across the UK. So potentially we might be dipping in there maybe on Wednesday, because I'll make sure the email's sent off to them before. So we're gonna we like to not just put things out in social media. We like to, do walk the walk, and talk the talk. So we're going out. We're going out, and that's how we like to do it. What about Thursday? What's happening? So that's
So
just Wednesday. That's just Wednesday
yeah,
next
just
week.
Wednesday, Thursday. There's an open mic night at the Leighton Institute. Now, all the famous TV performers from the 70s, 80s, and the good old days of Blackpool being the family resort, have performed at the Leighton Institute. And yourself and Dexter are performing there on Thursday night.
Yeah.
So again, tracks from Ray Coates and Dexter Briggs will be performed on that night. I will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Not making much of a role, but I'll be there.
Oh, you will be. You will be because you're the opening words of Fall Guy.
Yeah.
And the closing words of that particular version, Fall Guy, the guitar bridge video, which will likely be playing in the background, which is a credit to what happened to you in the best form I could put it together currently. But of course, it's with a projection of ultimately we're going to have, proper high-level filmmakers who are going to be turning that into what it needs to be. So we're doing that, and it's on a big stage. Cheetham Media, shout out to them, Raphael and Peter, who organise Leighton Open Mic. We're going to be having the video playing. We'll have a photo opportunity with Dexter, you and me, and it's all about this projection. It's all about the projection, because with other people, you and I are beginning to achieve more, because we need it. Because we need other people to connect with us. So that's Wednesday is me and you out and about.
Yeah.
Thursday, Leighton Institute open mic. I think it's around about 7:30 it normally kicks off. So we'll all be there. Let's round it off with Saturday. So a week yesterday, and this is all next week. So that'll be, what would that be? That'll be the 19th of October. What's happening
So 19th, we've got a road trip again. We're in a lovely Cheshire village known as Bowden, just out of Altrincham. We're doing a 3-hour podcast with a professional podcast company there at their home base. And that is basically to get the word out about what we're doing, where the music's going, our plans for the album, being vinyl, more CDs. We've got enough music in the pipeline for certainly for the next 12 months, haven't we? So
Comfortably.
yeah,
Comfortably.
so
Yeah.
that is the idea behind that podcast
Yeah.
is to get the word out and actually see if there's anybody who is an investor in music that
Spot
might
on.
like to be part of that.
Spot on, John. And that's necessary to say it. It's necessary to say it. It's something I've found in the past, not so much now, but I found in the past a bit of a tendency to avoid saying investment, sponsorship, money,
Yeah,
avoiding saying that. But the bottom line is to create what we're creating. Ultimately, we require other people. And some of those other people will need to have a funding, an investment, a sponsorship to put into the project. And the wide variety of things that there are, dramatization of your life, a documentary of your life, a reprint of the book, for example. So all of these things require time, require money, require energy, and we're looking for people to come on board with us to support us in what we're doing because it's needed and not needed in a sense of we're begging for support because we're doing what we're doing anyway. But of course, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier with the right people who have the right skill set to support us in what we're doing. And that's why we're getting out and about. Yeah. So I
yeah,
think we haven't got anything on for next Sunday, have we?
no, 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 not yet.
Great answer, not yet. So I think we'll say stay tuned, subscribe, comment, like, click on the notify bell, share. On my YouTube channel, the audience is growing. And what I mean by that is it's all about people, it's all about coming together. Fall Guy, the guitar bridge, at time of recording, I think we're up to close to 6.7 thousand views
Yeah,
on that. So that's amazing. And just keep sharing, just keep putting the message out there. And if somebody's listening and you know something we don't know, you know somebody we don't know, to bring John's life where it needs to be and to share the incredible inspiration that it is. So, John, I look forward to sharing next week with you, whatever that holds. And any thoughts you got to share before we conclude?
just do what I say, believe in yourself. You've all got the ability to heal. You've all got the uh, mental capacity to heal. Times might be hard, times might be difficult, but mentally, if you say to yourself, keep going, keep going, keep going. So wake up, dress up, show up, and you'll get there. You can do it. 90% of life is showing up.
Thank you, John.
So if you do that, you'll make it.
Amazing. Wake up, get up, show up. I love that. That's brilliant. You've done it again. You've done it again every single time. Every single time. Always quotes that are gems. They're absolute gems, John. Thank you.
One leg down on terra firma ground. He can still hear the angels' amplified sound. There's no escape route to find. He's simply become the fall guy. hear the angels' amplified sound. There's no escape route to find. He's simply become the fall guy.
I am the fall guy.
One leg down on terra firma ground. He can still hear the angels' amplified sound. There's no escape route to find. He's simply become the fall guy.
I am the fall guy.